Troy, a lot of people get really caught up with the idea of who is the head of something and where is the headquarters.
Well, yeah, we have that in our American society of who is the leader of something.
Yeah, here recently I was dealing with a local company, and I ended up having to call Arizona and Phoenix, Arizona, in order to talk to the head high up people.
Okay.
And so a lot of people get confused with the church, though, because
hmm
they understand, well, the church was established in Jerusalem, and we know that to be the case, had to be, according to Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 3, that the law would come forth from out of Jerusalem, the law of the Lord. And we certainly see that happening. And they want to know, why is the headquarters of the church not in Jerusalem?
Well, that makes sense. I can see why people would say that. And I think the first thing that I would go to, springing off of what you said in Isaiah, is Acts chapter 1, verse 8, whenever Jesus says, you're going to receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses to me in Jerusalem and in all Judea, Samaria, and to the end of the earth. He's talking to the apostles.
Oh, yeah.
And we see the apostles spread out all over the place whenever you get to Acts chapter 9. And then I would ask the question, well, if you're worried about the headquarters being there in Jerusalem, well, what about Antioch? As in Acts chapter 11, verse 26, it says they were first called Christians in Antioch.
Yeah, after all, didn't the Apostle Paul kind of use that as a launching platform for his missionary journeys?
Exactly. And so I can understand why people would look for a headquarters or something like that, because a lot of the religious bodies that we see in the world today have a headquarters, but the Lord's church does not.
And I think the problem here is when we start looking at it physically. The church is here physically, but only in the sense that we as Christians are the church. The Lord added to the church daily, such as should be saved, Acts 2:47. And so when we start thinking about it, it's a spiritual kingdom. And so it doesn't need a earthly headquarters. After all, Jesus is the head. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 20 and following, we'll talk about how he is the head of the church. And so if we're going to talk about where the headquarters is, well, it's in heaven, the spiritual place, where Jesus sits at the right hand of God, Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 12. So the part of the problem is in the question, while it may be a good question and the person asking it might be sincere, it's still looking at it as an earthly institution rather than a spiritual kingdom.
That's exactly right. I mean, to talk about that, Jesus said so to Pilate. He said in John chapter 18, verse 36, my kingdom is not of this world.
Isn't it amazing, though, that, it's not of this world, but no matter where you go in this world, the gospel is there in order to be able to be preached and to add people to that spiritual kingdom.
Amen.